Belated good evening, everyone, and welcome. No one's on yet, let's be honest, because we haven't got an intro. We've just jumped on like some horrible, sudden shock. We might as well just kill time for a few minutes. It's nice to be here. Um, I'll tell you, let's do it for anyone that dares to watch in advance. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Voice in the Baltic Star. Anyone that was here last night may have believed that we were going to be doing something around the Olympics this evening. Unfortunately, due to some illness spreading through our Olympic camp, um, we've not been able to do that. We've had to make a last-minute change of plan, and so we've pulled together something a little bit special for you this evening. We are the Voice of the Baltic Star. There are three of us, one, two, three, and when all three of us are here on a Saturday night, we get confused and have no idea what to do.
It's true. It's very true.
So we panicked and come up with something, and hopefully it works quite well. Ewan's just turned his fan off, and I've actually got hotter. So it must have been a very powerful fan. Maybe it's psychological. I was like,
I've heard that happens. Just the noise of the fan sometimes is enough. It's all that training we've been doing. It's like the ringing of the bell on the dog.
Exactly. As when I used to live in Japan, in the middle of the summer, the cicada would start really going for it, and but they'd do it. They'd come up for like a month, the hottest month of the year, and the second you heard them chirruping, it felt 6 degrees hotter. It was weird. You're like, oh, it's hot now. So no Ewan fan. I'm going to start salivating and get hot.
Yeah. Science here on the Boys from the Baltic Star.
The more you know.
Exactly.
Just don't quote us when you're completing important scientific papers. It won't go down too hard. Oh dear. But here we are. We're all sat on our little clouds. Do we like our little clouds? I'm enjoying being on the clouds.
Yeah, I like it.
Excellent cloud.
With my beard, I'm looking a bit like God from the Monty Python sketch from
Actually,
the Holy Grail. It's terrifying in a way. But apart from that, here we are. We're going to run for about an hour tonight. It's not too long. I'll tell you what we're going to do in a minute. But feel free to stay for as long or little as that. It's not a big investment in time. You might learn something new. You might enjoy it. Who knows? Stranger things have indeed happened. Like us managing to keep on streaming for like 3 or 4 years. That's pretty abnormal. We're like old school now. We're one of the old crew. We've never been popular, but we're old. And, that's something we've got going for us. I don't know what it is.
Sounds like a motto.
It is.
We're not popular, but we're old.
We're not. It's perfect. What more? If you can't be one, be the other. Click the red sun, spend some points. Most stuff's turned off, of course, because we're not role playing tonight. Although this hasn't updated. What have we got here? I think the lizards are on. The lizards are definitely on. Yeah, the lizards are on. Bewitched is on. I'll leave everyone to guess which one that is. Or you can celebrate the three of us in one way or another by making us pose or enjoy our times together. That's quite exciting. For one credit, I'll drink to that if you wish. We'll just we may have a sip of whatever we're drinking, whether it's a tea or a wine or a beer or being as we've been transported to Middle England, probably some Pimm's, I'd imagine, on a nice summer's evening. Who am I sharing this wonderful evening with? Well, it's a pleasure for me this evening, it must be said. For me, Luke, on this cloud to the right, to share the screen and some time with my brother from another mother, the housewife's favourite. He's the Floothmeister General. He is the extravagant Ewan. Good evening, Ewan. How are you?
Hi, Luke. Thanks for that intro. I'm very well, thanks. I'm very well. It's good times. Do you know what my favourite bit of this evening's been so far?
Please, what?
It's when we're about to start streaming and you're like, oh, we're going to go live because we've got no intro. and then you started to discuss whether or not you changed something pre-stream and I'm like, are we live? Is this us being professional and live, or are we waiting? So I refreshing my Twitch page just to find out what was going on.
You did
Either
look
way,
slightly
it
confused.
That's standard, to be fair.
It's about as professional as I can make. I try to be professional. I feel under pressure because Ben is like
Well, it's
super
fun.
good, and then I panic.
It's always fun though. It's always fun. I like it. If you can't be professional, be old.
Exactly. But I'll get that on a t-shirt. I may not be popular or professional, but at least I'm old. I like it. Ewan, to continue a discussion that we had off stream that no one will have any idea of. If you were to be named, if you were to be given a horse name, what horse name would you be?
Oh, that's a very good question, and completely without any completely without any context for the viewers, which I know. That's brilliant.
Context is for cowards.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I don't know. Either something ridiculous and racehorsey, or maybe. But are we starting a My Little Pony TTRPG stream? Is that why you're asking?
Oh, we could. I'll strip away this graphics and surprise.
There's got to be while I'm struggling to find a My Little Pony name generator. There's got to be one. There's got to be one out there somewhere.
It does remind me though. Someone make a note for this game that we're going to talk about in a second. We do need a race club or something.
Names?
Do you need a race club?
Yeah,
horsey types are always good bands for such shows. And they're always very angry. Or a
Silver
hunt.
Shine.
Silver Shine. Oh,
yeah. Thanks, random name generator.
Silver Shine.
Because of all the greys.
Well, I like it though. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Silver Shine. Let me just bring it in.
It's also my character name for tonight.
I like it. There we are. You're in. Silver Shine. So here I am with the Silver Shine and one other character. You can see him there looking very smug upon his cloud. And he should be smug because he's the smartest man in any sky. He lives his entire life in the Twin Peaks dream sequence and is carried aloft around town regularly by a six-topless and heavily oiled Eastern European gentleman as he waves to the adoring crowds. He is the wonderful Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Good. And has life been treating you well today? Has it been giving you strawberries or lemons? Would you say?
It's been giving me chicken and chorizo stew. In fact.
And if life gives you chicken and chorizo stew, then make chicken and chorizo stew. I guess. Was it good?
It was delicious.
So delicious you had it twice.
I did indeed, yes. Yes. Yeah, I did. I made more than I needed, really.
Wonderful. Well, quite right too. Oh, Russ is in. Hey, Russ. What a fool you are for joining us tonight, Russ. Ben, if you were a horse, what would you be called?
Least weasel.
Least, I like it. I do like it actually. Why the least weasel?
It's the name of a species of weasel, and it just popped into my head when you suddenly asked me what horse name I was going to be.
Solid reasoning.
It's wonderful. I look for. How many hands high are you, Ben?
Oh, hang on a minute.
Oh, no, it's gone sciencey. I should have asked you, and he wouldn't have a clue. It just said a number that was funny.
I know how hands high horses are.
I think it's something like 17-ish.
70. A horse factory?
Sanctuary.
Oh, I thought you said where they make glue. Horse factory.
Wait, that's the opposite of a horse factory.
It's the opposite of a horse sanctuary, that's for sure.
How many was that, Ben?
17
I think
for the
it's
win.
17. I'm not entirely sure exactly how big a hand is.
Whose hands are they choosing anyway? Because, they just pick some guy.
I don't know. There's that thing. Was it Harvard University measured everything in cropogs for a while?
That sounds like a sort of Harvard University kind of thing. 4 inches. Thanks, Russ.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Russ. I had a vague feeling it was about 4.5. Well, if it's 4 inches, then it's 18.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I'm around that 18 and a bit hands, I would say.
Mm.
Ben and I are of relatively similar height. Ewan's more of the pony approach to things, perfectly formed, with an adorable mane and a cheeky glint in his eye. Average
That's
dude.
true. That's true.
A silvery shine.
You have to limit how many sugar cubes I get.
It's far too excitable. Right. So this evening, we're not just going to talk about horses. As lovely this would be, actually. It's kind of linked because none of you will know probably that Ben, Ewan, and myself have been working on a game for a while. It's not ready yet. Don't get excited. But we've been sharing our absolute love of murder mysteries and tales from Middle England. I'm a big fan of Midsomer Murders, for anyone that watches it. Ewan, I know you've been watching through as well, again, recently. Big fan?
I have indeed. Big fan.
Big fan. Which, I take it as far as the Barnabys go, you're a John Nettles man.
Yes. Obviously, I'm a traditionalist.
Big fan of the Nettles. I like it. Ben, in the world of murder mysteries, where do you like to lean to for your inspiration and joy?
While I have a number of things that appeal to me, one specific Agatha Christie book is always in my head when we talk about this. Why didn't they ask Evans?
Ooh, is Evans he must be either a gardener or a some sort of servant character, I would imagine.
Bartender.
Oh yeah.
Ironically, I mean, it's been a long time since I've read the book. I just remember it being really beautifully set in the English countryside, and as I recall, Evans was an entirely peripheral character.
Oh, perfect. You are making it sound excellent, actually.
Yeah, it was great fun. It was all open top sports cars racing down country lanes, and it was nice. It was good old fashioned Agatha Christie.
Oh, and I think that's what we've been trying to look at with this game. So, to put a bit of context, a year or so ago, probably, Ewan and I were sat drinking at our local pub and decided to come up with a game based around a lower low. And within that, we came up with. It took us a couple of beating out sessions to come up with a concept, a character generation we were happy with, and the way the game ran. We sort of worked that through some text conversations and so on, and then put it together and forced it upon Ben for a few sessions. I think we enjoyed it as a vibe. And then we decided earlier this year that together as a group we were going to come up with something. And we decided that this sort of Middle England murder mystery setting, it's genteel watching on a Sunday afternoon. We wanted that sort of thing that was massively cliche, someone gets upset in the cricket club, the Women's Institute cake competition goes wrong, and the victor is found slumped dead in her cake the next morning or something. It's that sort of vibe, but rather than just writing some stories, stupidly we decided to take a very complete approach to it, isn't that right? And do it properly, as it were.
More than properly. We've embraced it to the point of insanity, I think.
That feels accurate.
So, as and when we can, we live all locally. So we've been we did one of mine, and then we've been going to the pub with a big piece of is it A1, A2? What is it, paper? A1? I don't know. The smaller the number, the bigger the paper.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2.
A2.
Ish.
A big sheet of A2-ish paper. And we drew an outline of an area, a region, a coastal region with a hill in it and some woods. And over the time, we've been altering the map, creating this whole history from ancient, like Neolithic times. The first one was a long time ago, wasn't it? Like thousands and thousands BC.
Yeah. Yeah, we started with like ancient stone circles and things, didn't we?
That's right. So we'd take it in turns. We'd draw on the map if it was something, and then we'd say what it was. So we'd write it down. So we've got a history. Then, of course, as history's come closer, the gaps between them, we've gone from 10,000 years between things happening to 2 years, the next year, and so on. And we're up to 1900 so far. And we have pages upon pages of history for this little space, which currently has 3 main villages and lots of things that have come and gone. We don't want to delve into it too much, but it's been, I've enjoyed it. I don't know about you guys, but as an experiment, I've found it thoroughly interesting.
Yeah.
It's been great fun.
The idea is, if in doubt, we're building cliches. So what we're doing is we're building a history for the area that we can roll back into. So why is a pub called this? Maybe a famous person stayed in this place. We're basically setting as many scenes as possible for mysterious and murderous adventures to be written in. With an idea that when we release it, we can release it with different seasons of adventures that all have a very different feel, but will be the cricket team or something on the train or something by the beach or something in a tea shop or something like that, with the whole concept. And so that's what we've been working on. That's still going on. But one thing we're getting pretty close to is the character generation. And this is something I want to force onto my 2 dear colleagues today. It's something we've discussed, and I know especially with you and I've been bouncing ideas back and forth because it takes our low setup. I think, Ben, you're less aware of it, although you have gone through the low character generation, of course.
I have done the LO character generation, yes.
It's very similar. I think I want to add a bit more depth to a couple of bits before it goes out through discussion with the 3 of us. But consider this, I guess, a bit of a playtest, I guess, this evening. So if you would humour me, Silvershine and Least Weasel, 18 foot and 6.5 foot hands or whatever it is, shall we create a couple of characters to exist in these villages?
I feel we should.
It's a good idea.
Well, let me ping up this here first of all. So this is the working character generation document, made to look like a bit of a village newsletter, I guess. £1.20. What a bargain! Can't get much for that these days. This will, of course, all be changed, but it's lovely. Isn't it lovely? It reminds me, whenever I've lived in a village, there's always a picture of the village church on the front. I don't know about if you guys have ever been in such a place.
I have been to villages.
Wow. But they often have churches in them.
Many of them do, in fact, yes.
Ewan grew up in a very wealthy neighbourhood, so his churches were all lined with gold.
Everyone had a pony.
Everyone had a pony.
Called Silvershine.
Only the poor ones had Silvershine.
Well.
So this is the work in process character generation. So if you would be so kind, I'm going to read through a little bit of the intro, and then we'll kick off from there. The villages of the parish have been around for hundreds of years, growing and changing, an ongoing history lived by many thousands of local residents. Now, in 2020, your life story will add to that history. Of course, your own story did not start as a fully grown adult buying a 4-pint bottle of milk and wondering what to have for dinner tonight. Instead, it started back when you were born and continued through your childhood upbringing all the way to the present day. Character generation for the villages allows you to create a character who has been shaped by events throughout their entire life. On the character sheet, first choose and enter a name, age, and home village, choosing from those on the parish map. You may not be living in the parish now, but this is where you grew up. Let's start there before moving on. So for each of you, I need you to consider a name, an age, and a village. I don't think it'll give away too much to use one of the villages.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Okay. So we might lose camera because I'm jumping to Photoshop, and for some reason it doesn't like our cameras running when I jump there. But please shout in when you wish. Let me ping up Ben's one to make it visible. So here's the top of the sheet. So I want you to think of a name, an age, and your home village, please.
Right. Well, I am going to choose one of the villages from our ongoing developmental process.
Wonderful.
So my character is going to come from Fletcham, please.
Why am I not surprised? You've always had an affinity for that place.
I have, yes. I enjoy a bit of Fletcham.
What's your character's name?
Dorothy Price Whittington.
It's a strong name.
Price with a Y, of course.
Well, of course. For the Fletchams, you wouldn't expect anything else.
But she goes by Dippy.
Dippy?
Mm-hmm.
Dippy.
Exactly.
Pryce. What was her surname?
Whittington.
Whi, like Dick.
Like Dick, yes.
Dick.
Yes.
Does she?
I'm sorry.
Does she though?
She's famous for it. What can I tell you?
Oh, it's turned already.
It started.
We didn't even get 20 minutes in.
I'm blaming you. How old is Dippy Price Whittington?
I honestly think because of the name and everything, it would be funny if she's 90.
I'm seriously picturing some like 70-year-old. Excellent. This is perfect. Right, I think I've got your sheets for you here. Bear with me a sec. I think I've changed that. If we save that as that, there we go. That should update, hopefully, the sheet that we can see. Dippy Price Whittington, 19, from Fletcham.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely, wonderful. She sounds splendid. I'm a big. Oh, did you have one of those metal shack churches? I love those. Like
I did indeed. Yeah.
There was a lot of them that went out, wasn't there? I like it.
It's smaller.
Yeah. Okay, Ben, sounds wonderful. Now for you, Silvershine, what would you like your character's name, hometown, and age to be?
Glorious. Let's go really mundane and nothing like Dippy whatsoever. Apologies to anybody out there whose name this might be. I'm going to go with Curtis Boyd.
Oh, so mundane. Curtis with a C?
Yes, please.
I-S?
Yes.
Curtis Boyd. There's many different Curtises. How old is Curtis Boyd?
Let's go 52.
52.
Slightly older.
Just slightly. And what village is he from?
Can
you remember?
No, I can't remember. The one by the sea.
St. James.
St. James, yeah. Of course, our villages did change names quite a lot. Yes. So depending on when we're playing.
We're not going to use the old Saxon name for it.
The name. Yeah, exactly.
Of course, I'll let you off. Thanks. You still remember it's the old Saxon name, of course. You're just slow to get to the modern ways.
Yeah. Well, people close to their 50s, Luke. They don't like change.
They don't like change. Definitely not. I dread to think what it'll be like when I get close to my 50s.
Nice save.
Thank you very much. Okay, we've got Dippy and Curtis. They sound wonderful. they will end up knowing each other because they will be working together as a lovely crime-fighting, mystery-solving, mundane event figuring out posse. So back to the conversation. So we've chosen name, age, and home village. We're going to complete each step in upbringing, apprenticeship, early career, employment, and hobby. So there's going to be 5 things that they go through in their character generation. We can work through each of these to leave yourself with a fully rounded character to begin your adventure in the villages. You must remember the golden rule. The golden rule is very important. During upbringing, apprenticeship, and early career, you cannot learn a skill unless you first have at least one box checked for the skill above it in the skill tree, which we'll go into. For example, you cannot learn working until you have learnt farming. You can't learn haggling until you've learnt to schmooze and villaging.
Yes.
So we're going to go to the pages in a bit for a clearer layout of the skill tree. However, life events that might happen to you, your day job and your hobby will allow you to break that rule and get some extra skills. Very much like the LOLO game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't need to talk about that. That's the page, right?
You see, I didn't think that's what the golden rule was.
Oh, well, there's many golden rules. That's the thing.
I thought the golden rule was do unto others before they have the opportunity to do unto you.
It may very well be in this game, to be fair. There's going to be a lot of murder going around, I think.
It's classic Dippy, really.
That's true.
Yeah, she always says that. So let's quickly look at the different skills we can have. So the skills are split. So for those of you that played role-play games before, some will have a whole variety of skills. Some will just have some stats. Ours has 3 basic stats, which is strength, agility, and humour, which affects some things. But for your general checks, your skill checks and so on, you'll use a variety of skills. For each level of those skills you have, it will give you a dice to roll, and you're trying to hit a 1 for a super good success, or if you can hit a 2, that's like a partial success. The skills are as follows. So there's farming. These skills are developed for those who farm the land across the area, those that can forecast tomorrow's weather by the way the wind rustles through the leaves, or by how their faithful dog walks along the lane. Ah, lovely. So farming is very core. The skill is farming. So if a check comes up that might require a farming check, roll a farming skill. Yeah, you can roll a D8 for farming. It's quite a basic skill, but it's all-encompassing. Your D6 skills for farming are, working the land and relaxing. Because, of course, I know a lot of farmers, and both are very important. So they're your D6 skills. And your very specific skills for working, crops and trees. So knowing where, why, how, and when things grow. Dog handling, so being good with dogs. Tractors, being able to use tractors. And other farm machinery. Whereas your relaxing skills are folklore, the lay of the land, and drinking, of course. The most important of all the skills. So they're your farming skills. If getting your hands dirty is not your favourite thing to do, maybe you may have developed some lording skills. Maybe you'll remember the gentry, or spent time among lords, ladies, movers, and shakers. So lording is a basic skill, a knowledge of the ways of a lord or lady of the manor. Hunting, shooting, dinner parties, and so on. This is split into 2. The land, so your ownership of the woods and fields, the skills you get through that, and dealing with people. Hosting and hobnobbing, for the most part. So the land skills, local animals, so game and wild animals. Tracking and riding, so horses and such like. And firearms, because pheasants won't shoot themselves. I did misspell that as peasants to start with, which is probably a Freudian finger slip.
Oh, you've met my character before.
Oh, Dippy. Another. Don't worry, there's plenty more where he came from. And then for people, history, because you need to have good conversation at dinner parties. Speeches and etiquette, of course, very important things. So that's lording. The third main skill is villaging, so being a good local, I guess. Gossip and so on. So the overall skill is villaging, which is split to schmoozing and organising. So your schmoozing skills are gossip, haggling, and fitting in. Very important in villages, of course. And your organising skills are committees, so village hall committees, the Women's Institute and faith groups, the church, and sports clubs. So they're your skills for villaging. And sleuthing is the final skill. Starts with basic sleuthing, which is split into snooping, which is more amateur skills, and police work, if one of your people sort of became a police inspector. Snooping is more based on gut feeling, misleading, and lockpicking. And police work is being able to find evidence, interrogation, and advanced driving skills. So those are our main skills, which we can touch on more when we get there. So let's start off with the first important part of your lives, which is your upbringing, how your childhood and home life shaped you from your very early years. So, Dippy, as a child, you were mostly influenced by your parents, family, friends, and perhaps mysterious strangers who would be up late speaking to your parents in hushed voices around the kitchen table while you pretended to be sleeping upstairs. I want you to check 2 boxes following the golden rule, please. So, would you like me to drag the image up a little bit?
Yeah, if you could show me the whole thing in one so I can
Right, let's bring it up.
pick it out more easily.
There you go, that's most of it. I'll bring it up, there you
go. Okay.
I need to get rid of silver shine. It's
so upbringing. So this is things that I would have developed during childhood.
Yes. So very basic. You're picking 2 very basic things.
The way I envisage Dippy, I think we will have one in villaging, please.
Yep, we can do that.
And one in lording.
Lordy. One in villaging. So let's put 1 cross into villaging. Well, that's a very large blib. 1 in villaging. Plump. 1 in lording. Plimp. Wonderful. 1 in villaging. 1 in lording. Okay, I've got some dots in there. Then what you get with that is that you get +1 to your strength stat for every farming skill you learn, because you got stronger. You're going to add +1 to your agility for each lording skill, +1 to your humour for every villaging skill. So it's loosely based. Humour's also like being able to talk and get on with people, and so on and so forth. So let's put some skills up here. So you've not got any for strength, but you have developed your agility through your lording skills. Maybe some basic horse riding skills or some just general knowledge around. And then you got 1 for your humour as well, from being able to talk to the commoners around you and sort of get on with people in your village. In Fletcham, of course.
Fletcham.
So hopefully that is up there now. There is your sheet. You've got 1 to your agility, 1 to your humour. You've got a lording and a villaging skill.
Fantastic.
What a lovely start to her young life for Dippy. Ewan, for you, for our beloved Curtis, what's Curtis's style in life?
What's Curtis interested in?
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Luke, because I'm familiar with the golden rule. And do
you want others?
You said that life events can go in anything, right? Was that the way?
So if a life event happens, you don't have to have the one above it for it to happen, correct?
But my upbringing is not a life event.
Your upbringing is not
just part of the character creation.
Just part of the character creation. Yep. So start at D8 and work your way down as you wish, but you've only got 2 boxes.
2 boxes to go with. I'm gonna stick 1 in farming for me, if you would, please.
I would quite happily do that. With pleasure. Yep, 1 in farming.
And I'm also going to ask you. I think perhaps Curtis grew up on a farm, but perhaps there was something a little bit shady going on. Stick 1 in sleuthing for me as well.
So It's almost if
Lots
you
of
guys.
police visits when he was younger.
Why am I not surprised? Well, all those suspicious people on farms. A lot of shotguns on farms. Everyone's carrying them.
Everyone and their mums.
Everyone and their mums.
Apparently.
Wonderful. So let's put 1 in strength for farming. Now, sleuthing, you get to add 1 to your weakest. So you can choose agility or humour. Where would you like to add 1 to?
Very nice. Let's go with agility, please.
1 to agility. Fantastic. You only get to choose that, of course, because they're equally low. Generally, it will just automatically go into your low. Right. This is wonderful work. Right, we're going to need you both to grab a D6, please, because an event's going to happen. Now, this is where I want to add some more events as we go through, but this is a basic to start us. You're going to roll a D6, and you're going to add your lowest of the 3 skills, the lowest of your 3 stats, sorry, to them, which, of course, for both of you at the moment is 0.
Yes.
What?
Okay.
So it's a D6 plus a 0.
D6 plus 0. Even I can do that maths.
Go on, Ben. Lead us off.
That's a 5.
A 5. Right, let's have a look at what that is. 5. One of your parents.
On the duck dice.
Wonderful. The duck dice, the best dice of all. One of your parents had a much-loved role in the parish, and you are held in high regard, Dippy. You're going to get a D10 local trust boon.
Excellent.
Very exciting. So
that's very handy.
So I get to explain this. So on the right-hand side of the sheet, there are certain stats which will give you boons. Local, and basically you can save them up and you can use them when you so wish, and then you'll rub them out. So you have to fill the D10 first. If the D10 is full, then you can fill in a D8, then a D6, and then a D4. There'll be times when the GM will decide that you've gained a boon through good work, good skill, something like that. So at this point, Dippy will be able to cash in a D10 boon at any point once, and then we'll have to rub it off her sheet, which just helps a little bit. So well done. Because of a local person, you've got a D10 boon. Wonderful. Ben, please, you're done. Ewan, please roll your dice, please. Curtis.
0. I'm gonna be honest. When you said roll in the parish, I thought you meant something completely different.
Well, that too.
I thought they were going to end up with a half sibling. That's a 4, please, plus a mighty 0.
4, fantastic. So as you can see, we've only got 6 so far, but I want to double it up. I want to provide more things for people, so it's not too repetitive in character generation. 4. One day as you were cycling home, you found an old World War II Enfield revolver glinting in a ditch.
Ooh.
You took it home and hid it. Add an Enfield revolver to your belongings.
Everyone is packing around here.
Everyone is.
Including me now.
Look at you. Hark at you, eh?
Yeah, in the countryside, everyone and their mum's got a gun.
Exactly. And Curtis.
Beautiful.
I'll add that to your list. World War II Enfield revolver. What a wonderful start to your childhood. Like a true, true country person. He says to someone that grew up in the country. Right.
How many Enfield revolvers did you find?
Single figures. Less than 10, I'd say.
Less than,
yeah. Right. I did have the most exciting upbringing. Right, there we go. So, as you can see, Curtis now, he's had his childhood, and so has Dippy. And we're going to move Dippy first onwards into the next phase of her life, which is her apprenticeship. As a teenager, she had to split her time between education and learning a trade. While education is no doubt important, just as important and an even bigger use of your time was the apprenticeship you went through, either as a family business to serve wealthy members of the community or with more specialist purposes in mind. So, Dippy, I'd like you to check 3 boxes following the golden rule, please. So instead of 2, you're developing your skills a little bit now. You've got 3 boxes you can tick. I think you're... Let me get rid of Ewan's. It is. So yours is up on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, 3 boxes of, adolescent learning and education and what have you.
Yeah, being out in the fields until all hours or something, you know. Learning some bits with friends. Your dad teaching
Okay.
you something.
Well, I'm absolutely confident, based on where I imagine Dippy going to school, that she would have learnt to ride a horse.
Oh, so we're going to need to work some things. That's
So, does that mean I need the land first,
You do need the land first, yes. Because we're
and
following
then
the
a
golden rule.
crack ride, please?
Yep. So the land, which she needs, because following the golden rule, you have to have the one above it. So she's got lording, she's got the land, and then she's got track ride. Fantastic. And then you can have one more skill as well.
Honestly, I feel it has to be organising.
Organising. I'm not surprised, really. So now we need to add you some points. So you've gained another 2. You've taken another 2 in the lording category.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives you 2 more to agility. So you're on 3. And you've gained another 1 in the organising, in the villaging. So that's 1 more to the humour. So you've got 2 now. So she's developing into quite a precocious young lady, I would say.
Yes. I'm trying to work out which podium she'd appear on at the Olympics right now.
I know which one she'd want to be on. Right. Here we go. I can see her in the dressage most likely, I feel. She feels very dressagey right now. Hey Slayer, thank you for joining us. Honestly, no worries that you're late. I was late, to be honest. Don't worry about it. And I'm supposed to be in the stream. So it's just a pleasure to have you with us. We're running through character generation for a game that we've been working on for the last number of months. We hope you find some interest in it. We've gone into Middle England. We're all horsey folk and women's institutes and cricket teams and cream teas right now. And Dippy is a precocious teenager. Now, 30 years earlier, of course, we have another precocious teenager, which is Curtis. Curtis, what were you up to as a teenager?
As a teenager, well, I think growing up on the farm that evidently had lots of visits from the police. I'm gonna say put one into working for me, please.
Yes, I can do that for you.
And then if you could also put one into snooping for me.
Oh yes.
Some kind of apprenticeship on the family farm, doing a bit of snooping.
Snooping around because there's so many police around. Yeah.
Keeping an eye out for the local Bobby.
Oh,
which
Bobby
I feel
Bobby
also. Good question. It's up to you. You know the police. That also leads to getting one in villaging as well, I think. Spending a bit more time in the village, away from the farm, snooping on people.
I like it. So the order that you did it in, and this is very important, was farming. So strength goes up to 2. Then your next thing was snooping, which means it has to go into the lowest, which is humour. And then you did 1 in
villaging.
Lovely, wonderful. So your agility. Nope, that's not your agility. Your agility is still on 1. Your villaging goes up to 2. Wow, you've had a sudden burst of humour as you've grown up. Let's add your sheet. There we go.
Nice.
So we should see right now. There we go. Curtis has farming, working, sleuthing, snooping, villaging. Much more balanced individual. 2 for strength, 1 for agility, 2 for humour. As opposed to Dippy's none for strength, 3 for agility, and 2 for humour. But that's okay. She's got people to be strong for her. She doesn't need to. So the next important stage is a life event at this point in your teenage years. Ben, could you roll a d6 and add your lowest of your strength, agility, or humour to it, please?
Yes, I think my lowest is still a 0.
Okay. Now, generally, the lower number, the worse the event. Just as an aside.
This one is a 4.
Okay. After being taken under the wing of this one carried over from a lower low, so I liked it. After being taken under the wing of a bon vivant, you learn to appreciate the finer things in life, and you've got fussy. Anything other than the finest dining and wines will leave you disappointed. So yes, so I'm going to put you as a bon vivant. How do you feel about that for Dippy? Does it suit?
I can make that work. Yeah.
Wonderful. I like her as a character. I don't think I'd like her as a person. I don't think she'd like me as a person, to be honest. But I like her as a character.
I don't know yet. I haven't worked out exactly how she's going to be. She's evolving.
She's evolving. I'm going to put bon vivant at the corner of the belongings, even though it doesn't really make sense. She is evolving. Ewan, could you roll a d6 and add your lowest, which is a 1, I believe.
Very good. That is a 5 plus 1, please.
Oh, wow. This is going to be good news.
Ah.
Your hard work has paid off, and you've started to show real promise in your work. Gain +1 to your strength, agility, or your humour. Choose from any of the 3 you already gained in your apprenticeship. So you have to add it to your strength or humour.
Which one's currently? Oh, they're both the ones that are on 2, aren't they?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Let's go with humour, please. For that extra, that whole 3 burst in humour during my apprenticeship years.
You really developed yourself as an individual, I think, during that time. You see, whereas Curtis Boyd, I quite like the sound of him. I feel like I could get on better with him.
Now he's got a sense of humour. He's much more agreeable.
It was too suspicious early days, all that snooping around. It's all the police spending the whole time on his dad's farm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the next stage. I feel like I need to drop the sheet while we do that so we can actually see your beautiful faces. There we go. Although we could lose them in a minute, so I'm going to click onto the PDF. Right. So we're moving on to the next. It's your early career, your young adulthood. So for you, Dippy, I guess this is your age range is much more squished together. So maybe this is your 16, 17. Maybe she's sort of stepping out at this point. Whereas for you, Curtis, you've had a longer period of time. A few years older, a few years wiser perhaps. With more time flowing under the bridge, you've blossomed into adulthood with all the happiness and stresses that come with it. Depending on your age, maybe this has been decades ago or more recently. So this time, you're going to add 4 boxes. You're going to check 4 boxes following the golden rule.
Okie dokie. 4 boxes. Can I see the sheet again?
You can. So I was just messaging you and in chat. He's having far too much fun. There you go.
Okay, thank you. So it's 4 boxes this time,
It's
is it?
4 boxes this time, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it's time, given the nature of this kind of game, it's time we added a little bit of sleuthing.
I'll do that for you. Useful to have.
But obviously, she is going to be a very much an amateur.
Yep. Sleuthing.
So I think we'll have a sleuthing and a snooping, please.
Okie dokie. And they're the first 2 things you picked?
Yes, the first 2 out of the 4.
Right, in which case I'm going to keep it up now because we need to add our stats. And of course, they're your first 2. So we add 2 to strength because it was the lowest each time. So your strength has gone up because of it. Okay, 2 more.
And then as a young adult, Yes, can I have one in sports, please?
You can have one in sports. I assume you can have one in sports. Yes, you can because it's organising. Wonderful. Which will be one in humour because you've got to be part of a group. Yep.
I think it's got to be
New York.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Tough choices.
Yeah,
They are tough choices. They really are. I think she's a countryside sort of person, more than anything else. But maybe local animals, please.
Local animals. Wonderful. Wonderful. Splendid. So that's another one in Lording, which is another agility. Chasing around after those local animals. Which means if we look at it, there she is. How lovely she looks. Look at that.
Fantastic.
She's really taking on pace now. She's really developing, I'd say. How about for you, Curtis? You've got you can add 4, fill in 4 gaps.
Well, it's really tricky. Let's go ahead and put one in dog handling for me, please, if you would.
Well, good farmer lad. Yep. Dog handling, you can have. Yep.
Perfect. I'd also like one in schmoozing, please.
Schmoozing. Glad someone's gone for the schmoozing. Yeah.
Indeed.
Which is humour. Yeah.
And then I would like to take one in. Let's go for one in fitting in.
Fitting in. Yep, you can do that.
Yep, please.
Wonderful.
And then one in misleading.
Oh, I like it. Well, yeah, you used to have the police around a lot. You had to sort of send them on their way a little bit.
Yeah, often got caught snooping on people and made excuses. Well practiced in making excuses.
It served him well. There's a moral to that somewhere. And there he is, the delightful man himself, Curtis, with a strength of 3, an agility of 2, a humour of 5. He seems nicely balanced with a chip on both shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think with his humour of 5, he'll get along with pretty much everybody.
Exactly. Even potentially the precocious Dippy.
Well, especially since he's also got fitting in and schmoozing. I mean, he's going to be quite likable, this chap.
Yeah, we're a big fan of him. Okay. Speaking of people we like, Diffie. I need you to roll a dice for an event happening through your young adulthood. Roll a d6 and add your lowest skill, which now is
my lowest is now strength
shockingly
2.
A 2. Incredible.
So that is a 6 total.
It's got to be good. Finding yourself miles from home, you borrow a farmer's tractor, deciding that a steep learning curve is better than a walk. You're going to get +1 to tractors, unless you have a prior phobia, which you don't. So congratulations, +1 to tractors. That's a nice bonus. Let's give you 1 to tractors. Imagine that. What a turn up for the book. Yeah, Yeah, plus on tractors, unless you have a phobia, in which case a farmer's field or woodland is named after you as you're found there by the farmer the next morning.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, of course, this now violates the golden rule.
Yeah, of course it does, but that's okay. We said you can a life event can violate the golden rule.
Absolutely, and this one is going to.
Yep.
Very good.
So there you go. She can, despite having no prior farming skill whatsoever, more by luck than judgment, she can kind of drive a tractor.
Yeah.
Which is helpful. Helpful in life. Curtis, my friend, you have a low of 2, so could you roll a d6 and add to that, please?
That is a 3 on the dice, please, plus a 2.
Okay, 5. You've managed to help solve a mysterious case in the parish. Maybe more by luck than judgment, but you have made the local paper and gained the appreciation of the locals. Gain a local trust boon. There you go. That'll set you up early in life. Congratulations.
Nice.
Congratulations. I'll give you a D10 boon there. Well done to you. There we go. And there's your 2 characters starting off, coming into adulthood. Wonderful. What a wonderful life they lead. But life doesn't end when you hit adulthood, of course, as we all know. Life's relentless, and things are expected of you. And one of the things that's expected is employment, unfortunately. Solving mysteries and going on adventures isn't necessarily a full-time job, so it's worth you having one. So all your early experiences have led to this moment of your life. You're going to select a day job from the list and check off skill boxes as directed. You can break the golden rule. Through discussion with the GM, you can suggest clothing and a tool or 2 of your trade to add to your belongings. So this is a bit of working together kind of stuff here, okay? So, Dippy, I'm going to run through the list. Curtis, please pay attention also. The jobs are as follows. You could be, with alphabetical order, a barrister, a butcher, a church organist, a cricket ringer, so like a professional that plays for the local team, a detective inspector, a detective sergeant, an estate agent, a farmhand, a gamekeeper, a gardener, a local MP, a postal worker, a pub barman or barmaid, retired at 19, a rich playboy, a shopkeeper, a teacher, the chair of the village hall, or a woodsman. Or woodswoman, I suppose.
Well, okay. I perceive Dippy to be very much a young lady of leisure, not necessarily requiring huge amounts of income, but I'm sure she does something to keep her occupied between gymkhanas.
Yes, of course.
And I'm fairly confident that is going to be on the land as a gamekeeper.
The gamekeeper. Fantastic. Well, let's...
it might be more in a sort of voluntary capacity, with the National Trust or something, rather than in a commercial sense. But I'm pretty sure that's right up her alley.
Or up her straza, as she probably says.
Yeah, entirely possible.
The gamekeeper, wonderful.
Au bout de her roue.
A boot to whose roue?
Exactly.
I have to put in small writing. Gamekeeper, wonderful. Which gives her, let's say bestows upon her the following skills. She has developed skills in dog handling, more local animals, and firearms. So it kind of follows her path anyway, really.
Yeah.
So dog handling, local animals, and now she's a dab hand with a shotgun. So if we bang that up for you, we should have Dear Dippy.
Not helping her sleuthing skills, to be honest, but that's the way life is.
Wow, she's got friends for that. She's there to hobnob if you have to meet someone rich, I guess. She looks splendid, though. She looks splendid. Curtis, would you like me to go through the jobs for you again?
No, I think I'm good. Thanks, actually. I jotted down a couple of options that I quite liked, which I really liked that actually at this point the character could go many different ways, depending on their job. I like the idea of Curtis with his humour and his schmoozing and his misleading, becoming a local MP.
Local
I think
MP.
that works for a
Wonderful.
local lad who grew up on the farm, perhaps with a little hand in some under the table business and some, lots of police visits, becoming the local MP.
Yeah.
That works well for him, his family, and the town, frankly.
Wonderful. But you've already got the speech for it.
Yeah.
The local MP. Oh, Curtis Boyd, local MP. I can already pick who he's a local MP for. Which means it gets you a bonus point in misleading, of course. You wouldn't expect anything. He's quite a good liar, this Curtis. He's also got skills in speeches and etiquette. Wonderful, which you would never have got otherwise because you've not shown any interest in lauding until that point.
Yeah.
So that's worked out quite nicely for you. Let's load up Curtis, the new and improved adult Curtis.
Well, it's worked out quite nicely for the people of his local parish.
Has it? Has it?
Thank you.
Has it? Right. So there we are with our two characters, but they're still not. Luckily, we're not expected to work massively long days, like 20-hour days yet. We still have a chance for a little bit of free time. And so each of our dear heroes has a hobby. Alongside work, you're able to maintain one decent hobby. This is the last chance to really specialise in a certain area. Or perhaps what you do in your free time is truly an escape from your day job. So you get to pick one hobby that you really invest in, and you're going to get 2 extra skills because of your hobby. Okay. And the hobbies are as follows. There's loads of them actually. There's not many. It's more jobs. You've got about 13 hobbies you can pick from. You can be into antiquing, choir singing, clairvoyance, in the cricket team, escape rooms, hunting, local history, metal detecting, rambling, sheepdog trials, or part of the Women's Institute.
Ooh.
It does, doesn't it, Slayer? We have to have a murder mystery set in an escape room. Add it to the list. You and I, we've already got a massive list.
That is a good
massive list of adventures we want to publish.
You know what? I will take Slayer's advice. I think escape rooms is a good hobby. I think she's going to do that. No, local history. It's got to be local history.
Last minute change.
The last minute, he bottled it.
It's got to be. I'm sorry. It's got to be local history. Much as I like the idea of escape rooms for her, it's just not the way she is.
It's just not Diffie. Speeches and gossip. I'm getting more of an idea of her. Speeches. Gossip. That's helpful. You wouldn't have got that otherwise. And we'll talk about her clothing and items she's got in a second. But for the time being, it appears that this is Dippy. With a strength of 2, agility of 4, humour of 3. So we should have got you in on that. We should have got your character. Thinking about it, got some lauding, some villaging, some sleuthing. Lots of lauding, let's face it, lots of lauding skills. Picked up a bit of farming here and there. Can calm an angry dog, drive a tractor. Good with sports clubs. Just enough snooping to get by. So that is Dippy. Now, dear Curtis, what would you like to spend your free time doing?
There was a lot of choices that I quite liked. I quite like clairvoyance, mostly for the topping out misleading.
More misleading.
But I feel as though it's probably not the correct hobby for a local MP. So I decided against that one. Cricket team could be good. Rambling, I quite like the choices for. But I did have my heart set on, and I'm glad Ben didn't choose it, escape rooms. Feels good.
Slag gets their wish after all. Escape rooms has made it in. Lock picking and evidence. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's give you a skill to lock picking. Skill to evidence. Wonderful. Look at that. Save out Curtis. There we go. There's Curtis looking rather good. Very sleuthy, I would say. It's like I can see the character already. Local MP sleuth. I don't think it's never been done before, is it? A very unique character.
Perhaps not the most straight down the line MP that ever existed. I mean, that's been done before.
Oh yes, of course. Dippy, let's discuss your belongings. How do you, within reason? Why don't you? How do you like her to be dressed when we first meet her? And as a gamekeeper, you could suggest a couple of items that she has on her that match the job role.
Yeah, I think obviously the predominant sense you're going to get is tweed here.
I was right in tweed.
But what you need to understand here is that the tweed is everything. It's a tweed coat over a tweed jacket over a tweed shirt over tweed underwear. She is essentially styled entirely by Barber.
Oh yeah.
And so in terms of clothing, I think that's what we're going for. I mean, she has access, you understand, to a reasonable wardrobe, but that's how she would normally be dressed.
Of course she would.
As for belongings,
and I will allow weapons because she is a gamekeeper. So
well, yes, I think realistically, you might not always find her bearing one, but a suitable English side lock ejector shotgun, possibly made by Purdy.
Purdy.
Purdey.
Yep.
And she would have, let me think, a dog whistle, various useful accoutrements in the form of a leash, probably a short chain, some string, things like that, things that would be useful.
So dog whistle and dog leashes.
But other than that, the really obvious thing, I suppose, is she would always have a detailed ordnance survey map of the area.
Very nice.
Wonderful. Look at that. I can picture, and like I say, I don't think me and her would ever be friends, but I love her. I love her as a character.
I'm not sure you're good enough for her, to be honest.
And that's the thing. It's not through my want of trying. It's just that. It's not that I don't want to be friends with her. She don't want to be friends with me. Yeah, there she is. There's our completed Dippy. As it stands, of course, the characters will be evolving over time. If you want to play through a season, they will add skills as they go. But for those watching, we'll explain how that sort of works. So every time there's a check. So say Dippy, Ben, put Dippy into a situation that we might need to do a skill check. Paint the picture so beautiful at it.
Something really sort of like a typical Wednesday afternoon kind of situation.
Yeah, sure.
One of the dogs on the estate has thrown itself into a stream and needs to be retrieved by grabbing it by the scruff of the neck and hauling it out.
Wonderful. Now, for every check that we need a skill check, Dippy will get to roll a d10. You get a d10 whatever. Now, on top of that, you'll get dice depending on the skills you have. Now, we could suggest that dog handling might be important, Ben. I'm sure we could argue
Potentially.
that. So Ben would also take a d4. So now he's got a d10 and a d4. Could you argue for anything else? I know that's why the d10's in purely. When you and I first wrote the rules, it had to be d10.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add to that? Could you either like to argue it, but I don't know if you could.
I would. I would make a case, given what this would entail, that I should get some kind of bonus for my mediocre strength.
That would work separately. So the strength, agility, humour works more for face-to-face type thing. You might get the land. I don't know. It's streams, but that more be lay of land, I would say.
Yeah, I suspect it would be.
Unless it was your stream. I think if it was a stream on
I mean,
your
if
land,
the sport she was into was water polo, it might be helpful. But I don't. I think her version of polo is going to involve the horses.
I think so. So in which case you would roll a d10 and a d4.
Okay.
To rescue your dog. A 1 on either of those two dice, which sounds difficult, but when d4s, it's not too bad. A 1 is a perfect success. A 2, just 1, 2, 1, 1. A 2 is a partial success, and anything other than that would be a failure. So I don't know if you have dice to hand tonight, Ben, or not.
I do.
Would you like to roll a d10 and a d4 and see if Dippy can rescue
I will indeed. Let's see if this would have been successful, or if I'll have to shoot the dog.
No. At least you're quite good at firearms.
Okay. That was a 6 on the 10, but a 1 on the 4.
Wonderful. So acting quickly and with great guile and style, of course, Dippy rolled her tweed sleeves up, managed to grab one of her carefully selected leads and ropes, and with great skill and adeptness, managed to wrap it around her dog's leg and hoik it out to safety into dry land, and where the relieved mutt immediately nuzzled into her and started licking all over her face. Oh, what a hero she is.
Oh, absolutely. And it's good that she didn't have to shoot the dog in the water.
It was always the backup.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Ewan, for Curtis, how would Curtis be dressed? What might a local MP have with him?
I'd say he wears a very reasonably, not well fitted, but a passable suit, grey suit, white shirt and tie that is the colour of his political party. Perhaps there's a very similar address to a DCI that you might find wandering around to the sort of area. Reasonably smart, but nothing too fancy. Mostly due to his.
What colour tie? What colour tie?
I don't know actually.
It's important. Pick a colour.
It is important. Purple.
Oh, is he? He's one of those, is he?
Yeah, it's one of those.
Oh wow, what a statement! I don't know if I get on with Curtis anymore.
Oh no, wait. That's not what I was thinking.
Oh, that's quite UKIP.
Yeah. Not my initial thought, but I've said it now, so let's go for it.
Purple.
It's a make-believe world.
It's
an independent.
Oh, he's an independent. Oh, he can be any coloured tie then. Okay,
yeah.
You can have an orange tie then.
And I would like to make the argument that realistically, things that he has on him for day-to-day use would involve some kind of snivelling assistant.
You want a snivelling assistant?
I mean, I understand that it's pushing it and that the use may be limited, but I would say that it wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility, and it would be quite within the tropes that exist in this kind of setting.
I'd allow it, I guess, as a GM, but it would also offer up possibilities of getting spotted more easily, I think. So swings and roundabouts.
That's true. That's true. Put it down.
Snivelling assistant. I'll give you
yeah.
something else if he wants to carry.
I'm an unlimited supply of brown paper envelopes.
Filled envelopes?
No, probably not. Probably not at this point.
One's just large enough to hold a banknote.
He likes to reuse them.
Once
you've received them, you might as well keep hold of them. It's good financial management and environmentally friendly.
I'd vote for them.
Thanks. And a fountain pen, probably.
Fountain pen. Okay.
For the nice signatures that he has to make.
Of course. Right, let's get that in there. Right, there we go. He sounds fascinating.
It took a turn, didn't it?
It did. I was all for him a minute ago. Right, Curtis, put yourself in a situation, please. Let's try Curtis out. Let's give him a test run.
I've been put in a really awkward situation myself now because Ben picked one that was very not in his wheelhouse. I'm tempted to
go wheelhouse.
To go straight down the tropes.
We can show people how it works when it's in the wheelhouse.
Yeah, nice. Curtis has been having a meeting with somebody in his office, perhaps exchanging said brown envelope when the chief inspector of the police bursts in for a meeting and finds them in a very suspect situation, and he tries to lie his way out of it.
Wonderful. So Curtis has been caught passing envelopes. This is a misleading thing, so you could take it down sleuthing and snooping because you're trying to sort of lead people in one way. So he gets a D10 anyway. You would get a D8 for a sleuthy type thing. You would get a D6 for a snoopy type skill. 2 D4s because he's attempting to mislead. Now, if he wanted to be super, he could also give himself the other guy's there, right? You could lean on the other guy for a bit of a favour. Might try and lie for him. So you could use your local boon to get an extra D10 because you've gained the trust of that guy. So if you were not sure, you could try and get him to lie for you as well. Up to you.
Probably not in this situation. I feel reasonably confident.
So I need a D10, a D8, a D6, and 2 D4s, please.
Cool. I don't actually have any dice, so I'm going to attempt it in Discord.
Oh my goodness, this is going to go horribly wrong.
Let's see what happens. Oh, glorious. Very good results. We got a 10 on the D10, 2 4s on the D4, an 8 on the D8, and the D6 was a 5.
Oh my God.
So,
can you believe it?
So, despite his best, would you like to lean on the guy? I'll give you one chance to lean on the guy, despite his best attempts. The chief inspector looks frowningly at him and at the envelope, and doesn't seem to be taken at all by your stuttered lies. Do you want to lean on the other guy? You want to attempt the boon?
I feel like in game I would, but at this point it feels like the universe wants me to fail that roll because, statistically that was a lot of high numbers. So no, we'll take it.
Curtis Boyd finds himself Son's envelope full of money, which the chief inspector has immediately taken off him, and is finding himself written up for potential misdemeanors, and it seems that a member of the local press is in the waiting room and has overheard such things and has a glint in their eye as they start scribbling into their notebook.
No, it's bad news.
It's bad news about brown envelopes. It's bad news for local MP Curtis Boyd. Brackets. Independent brackets.
Certainly is now. No possible to do with it.
So that is how we create our characters and how they will run in the game. I think it's something we can find fun with, and I hope it's something that you, the potential player in the future, will find fun with as well. It's relatively straightforward.
I think it's going to be a bit of a riot.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and made it very easy, I think, to make jumps to certain
Wild
tropes within.
stereotypes.
Yeah, exactly. Which is
The whole game's all about
certainly
wild
has its
stereotypes,
place,
isn't it?
but also like you could very easily not fulfill those stereotypes and come up with something completely different and random and equally as enjoyable, hopefully.
Let's hope so. We haven't even touched on the skills. They're like the stats, which is something totally different. The your dodgy friends, which you can gain. The unpopular pal, which you can use. There's a whole range of things that is part of the game. Our maps that we've been working on, which hopefully will come to an end before too long. We
The
used
thousands of years of history.
We do have this absolutely vast and intricate setting to set this game in, yes.
Exactly. I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm really looking forward to taking all the things that we've created and starting to write stories based on those things that we've spent many time creating. So
I'm going to be bold. When are we talking? What do you reckon?
Tuesday.
Realistic figure.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Realistic.
Oh, to be finished.
I reckon we probably need another 2 sessions together to finish the map and have a discussion to get everything thrashed out.
Yeah.
The creative map that I've been doing, I've been keeping up to date with that, so that'll work fine. And
it's going really well.
And then it's just some working, making sure we agree on the rules, and then coming up with some adventures within those rules. But I would like, I don't know, we've got a busy autumn, but I'd like to, and it depends if we can do it properly and get it properly printed and things like that, really. I think we could run it in stream before the end of the year, but whether it was available to everyone else before then, I don't know. What are you thinking realistically, guys?
Yeah, I think that's plausible. We can at least build a couple of sample scenarios to go with the background by then.
Yep.
And we'll need to do some playtesting, but to be honest, we can do the playtesting on stream if necessary.
It's what we do most of the time.
Yeah.
And anyone that joins us is wonderful at being forgiving should we come across anything that's drastically misbalanced, which I don't think is going to be the case. But we've got a lovely group of people that'll just go with it and have fun. What more could you ask?
This is right up Spez's street. He slides straight into such nonsense Britishness. I can picture Cody hammering down the road between Fletcher and St James's
in a tractor.
A stolen tractor.
Exactly. They're perfect. I can picture all. Well, thank you, Spez. We'll get you in on it. Thank you, Slayer, for being with us, and thank you for. I'm sorry we couldn't Olympics, but we shall work that out in the coming weeks as well. And we're gonna September, October. We'll get a proper calendar together of things, and make sure you guys can all jump in on something or another. Another Save Dave is needed, of course. Another Orbital Blues is needed. Tony and Rudy's coming next week, I believe.
Yes, that's next Saturday, I think.
Pardon? Yep.
I think that's 17th. Next Saturday, yeah.
17th, yeah, wonderful. So we've got some things incoming. But until then, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you guys for playing through with me. And let's let Ewan get to sleep. He's a sleepy boy, is our Ewan. He's very busy.
It's true.
We got to honour him by finishing sensibly. So good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoy it and keep an eye out for the game as it goes forward. The Villages, we're calling it as it stands. So keep an eye on our channel if you're interested in that at all. And boys.